There Will Be Blood is a powerhouse of a film, but let's be real. Daniel Plainview is the opposite of a Stoic. And that's exactly why it's so fascinating to analyze this movie through Stoic philosophy. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when you let your desires, ego, and unchecked emotions completely consume you. In Plainview's relentless pursuit of wealth and power, we see the antithesis of Stoic virtue, and a reminder of how much destruction we can cause when we stray from reason and self-control. Here's what There Will Be Blood can teach us about Stoicism. Unchecked desire leads to ruin. The Stoics believe that excessive desire, pathos in their terms, is the root of suffering. Daniel Plainview embodies this idea to an extreme. His lust for oil, power, and domination over others drives everything he does. But does it make him happy? Not even close. The more he gets, the angrier and lonelier he becomes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger and greed than the acts that arouse them." Daniel's greed is like a black hole. It keeps pulling in more and more, but it never fills.
Milkshake!
The film is a brutal reminder of what happens when we let our desires rule us, instead of focusing on what truly matters. Virtue, self-control, and meaningful connections. The danger of ego and isolation. Daniel Plainview's ego is so massive that it's practically a character in itself. He sees every interaction as a competition. He wants to win, not just at business, but in life. But here's the thing. Winning for the sake of feeding your ego is a hollow victory. The Stoics warned about this, constantly reminding us to check our pride and focus on collaboration and service instead of domination.
I want no one else to succeed.
By pushing everyone away, his son, his business partners, and even potential allies, Plainview isolates himself completely. In the end, he's rich beyond measure, but he's also alone, drunk, and miserable in his giant empty mansion. He who is not a good companion to himself will not be a good companion to others. Daniel's inability to master his ego not only ruins his relationships, but also his inner peace. Virtue is the only true wealth. The Stoics believe that virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is the only thing that truly matters. Wealth, status, and material possessions are all external and, by themselves, meaningless. Daniel Plainview's obsession with oil blinds him to this truth. He builds an empire but loses his humanity in the process.
I look at people and I see nothing worth liking.
His life is proof that external success, without internal virtue, is a recipe for disaster. Lack of emotional control. Plainview is the perfect example of what happens when you let emotions like anger and envy run wild. His feud with Eli's Sunday is a masterclass in pettiness and overreaction. Eli tries to manipulate Daniel, but instead of staying calm and rational, Daniel escalates things, mocking, humiliating, and eventually destroying Eli, both figuratively and literally.
Stop crying, you sniveling ass! Stop your nonsense!
Anger, an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Daniel's anger doesn't just hurt others, it poisons his own life. He's consumed by rage, vengeance, and a need to dominate everyone around him. A Stoic would tell him, "Control your emotions, or your emotions will control you."
I hate most people.
The illusion of winning. Daniel Plainview believes that life is a zero-sum game. If someone else wins, it means he loses. This mindset leads him to destroy everyone in his path. But what does winning even mean? By the end of the movie, he's technically achieved everything he set out to do. He's unimaginably wealthy, powerful, and feared. Yet he's completely miserable. The Stoics would say that true victory isn't about crushing your enemies or hoarding wealth. It's about mastering yourself. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Daniel is a slave to his desires and anger, and in the end, they destroy him. He wins the game he's been playing his whole life, but at what cost? A life without meaning. At its core, There Will Be Blood is a film about emptiness. Daniel Plainview fills his life with oil, money, and power, but none of it brings him meaning or fulfillment.
I don't want to talk about those things.
The Stoics teach us that a meaningful life comes from contributing to others and aligning ourselves with virtue. Daniel does the opposite. He destroys others, manipulates those closest to him, and leaves a trail of ruin behind him. He's finished the race for wealth and power, but there's nothing left. He's completely hollow. It's the ultimate anti-Stoic ending, a life wasted on things that don't truly matter. But that's the tragedy of There Will Be Blood. It's a masterclass in how not to live. And it's a powerful reminder that the Stoic path, one of acceptance, virtue, and emotional mastery, is the only true road to a good life.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate you joining our journey through the profound philosophy of Stoicism in daily life and pop culture. We'll see you on the next one.